Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Are you able to? So today we are starting with the new topic. Uh, we'll see the theory of this, and next lecture we will take some numericals. Okay, and with that we will complete the unit number one. Okay, so financial statements we have already studied. Now we are going ahead. We're trying to analyze those statements in a better way. What did we see in the last unit is trying to analyze the data by making fund flow statements, cash flow statements, and statements for financial position. That is comprehensive statement for the financial position of the firm. Okay, so the data is obviously used from financial statement like balance sheet and the profit and loss account. Okay, so going further ahead, we can even try to get some quantified figures by relating the various items in the balance sheet and the profit and loss account. Okay, which can give you a very quick idea about the financial position of the firm. Okay, so the users of the financial statements can get further insights about the financial strength and the weaknesses of the firm if the information is properly analyzed. Okay, so now why do we need this is the future plans of the firm should be laid down in the view of firm's financial strength and weaknesses. Okay, so which do not immediately come out from profit and loss and balance sheet. Okay, but that is a starting thing. Information collection is also important, making it available in a particular format, and then that will be used for further analysis. Fine. So now financial analysis as it is defined and put up on the slide, it is the process of identifying the financial strength and the weaknesses of the firm by properly establishing relationship between the items of balance sheet and profit and loss. Okay, so financial analysis is why we do to ascertain or identify the strength and the weaknesses. If there are strengths, you can take make use of them for the proper thing. If there are weaknesses, we can address them. Okay, and we can take the proper decisions. Okay, so mostly these things are going to dictate the future plans. Okay, understanding of the past is a prerequisite for anticipating the future. Okay, so we need to analyze the past data. Okay, so the users, there are number of users of this financial analysis. Like you may be a trade creditor, who is interested only in short term liquidity position of the firm. Okay, so they would only concentrate on say liquidity kind of ratios. Okay, which will help them to find out what is the strength of the firm as regard to meeting its current obligations. Okay, trade creditors, which the people who give credits only for a short duration. Okay, then there are suppliers of long-term debt. The long-term debt means say banks, even the people who invest in the debentures and bonds of the company. Okay, so these people give their money to the company for a long-term duration. Okay, with some expectation of the returns. Okay, so now these people are obviously not so much interested in short-term liquidity kind of ratios, but they are interested in say long-term solvency and the profitability ratios. Okay, how the company year after year is able to be profitable and be able to meet its obligations of paying interest, repaying the principal amount. Okay, so if that track record is very good for that particular company, then uh, that company won't face any issues in getting the long term debts. Okay, which spreads over number of years. Okay, like banks, if they approach, if they're uh, these ratios, which are called as profitability ratios and which measure the ability to meet the long-term debt obligations is good, then they won't have any problem. Okay, so there are ratios which the bank will look into to ascertain whether they should be giving loan to this company or not. Okay, then there are investors. Okay, like as you say investors, then the word comes into our mind is stock market. The people, uh, general public is allowed to invest in a company through stock market. Okay, so now when you have money with you surplus and you want to invest in some company, you have to do some analysis called as fundamental analysis. Okay, and there is something called as technical analysis. Looking at the charts, you can decide on when to enter. Okay, so funda technical analysis, that is fundamental analysis clubbed with the technical analysis. So fundamental analysis will involve all this what we are going to study. Some part of it we are trying to study here, not exhaustive, but we are just exposing ourselves to the analysis which the people do whenever they take any decisions to invest in a particular company. Okay, so investors are again interested in the ratios like the long-term profitability, its leverage ratios, that is the way the company has raised the required funds for their operations, means how much is the debt, how much is the equity. Okay, that also affects the profitability. Okay, what is the other liquidity ratios like cash ratio and all those things. Okay, so, but mostly it is long-term profitability. Then the last category of users of financial analysis is management. So management is going to look into each and every aspect. Okay, whatever trade creditors are interested, suppliers of long-term debt or investors. So all the different kind of ratios is an interest of management, because management, the purpose is to manage the firm very efficiently and increase its profitability. And the side effect of it will be all trade creditors, suppliers and investors will be satisfied, and they will remain with the firm for a good amount of time. Okay, so management purposes overall, it has to look to the overall profitability, overall efficient utilization of the assets which they have. Okay, so going ahead, the financial ratios is a very important tool available to us for carrying out financial analysis. Okay, so the relationship between two accounting figures expressed mathematically is known as financial ratio. Are you able to see the slide? Definition, ratio analysis.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, means the slides are moving quickly. That's I just wanted to confirm. So the relationship between the two accounting figures which are taken from the profit and loss or the balance sheet, uh, expressed mathematically, is known as financial ratio. Okay, so ratios basically help us to quickly summarize the large amount of data which is present in profit and loss and balance sheet. Okay, to immediately make some quantitative judgments about the firm's financial performance. Okay, so ratio, as we all know, it's a term which relates two things. Okay, so those two things are nothing but the items of balance sheet or profit and loss account, and their relationship will help you to know so the position of the firm in that particular domain. Okay, now let us see what are the various types of ratios we are going to look into. So types of ratios, there are majorly four types of ratios. Liquidity ratio, which measures the firm's ability to meet current obligations. Okay, means within a period of 1 year, or say within a period of say 3 months down the line, if there is something, how well the company has made the obligations, or it is in position of meeting the obligations. So how do we find it out? Okay, so we know that already we have studied cash flow statements and the working capital flow statement, or say fund flow statement. That obviously gives you idea about what is the amount of working capital available with us at a particular point of the time and how much is the cash we are able to generate through the operations. Okay, that we know. So that obviously will tell you liquidity ratios, but even more quickly, we can ascertain the liquidity position by if we use liquidity ratios. Okay. Then the second one is the activity ratios. So activity ratios reflect the firm's efficiency in utilizing its assets. Okay, whatever assets the firm owns, how efficiently they are uh, geared towards, say, manufacturing the products which they are doing, or if it's a service sector, how efficiently they are using their assets to provide services to the customers. Okay, so that will be seen in the activity ratio. Then there are profitability ratios and the leverage ratio. Leverage ratio will tell you the mix. What is the mix of debt and equity used for raising uh, a particular amount of capital which is required? And the profitability ratio, it measures the overall efficiency of the firm and the profitability. Okay, so now under liquidity ratio, that is what is our today's agenda. Or we'll try to see all these ratios: current ratio, quick ratio, cash ratio, interval measure, and net working capital ratio. uh, Mostly the first four. Then under activity ratios, there are something profitability ratios and leverage ratios. Okay, so mostly we'll try to cover today the liquidity ratios. Okay, so I hope the names of the ratios you have understood. Liquidity ratio, as the name suggests, it will help you to find out the firm's ability to meet its current obligations. Activity ratio helps you to know how well the resources and the assets which the firm owns are utilized. Okay, there is less wastage, or they are very efficiently converted into the final products and final product into the cash. Profitability ratio is the overall profitability of the firm, or how overall efficiently the business is done. Then leverage ratios are nothing but it will help you the uh, proportions of the debt and equity in financing the firm's assets. Okay, so going ahead, we'll now focus separately on each type of ratios. Okay, so liquidity ratio, the first type of ratio is the current ratio. uh, as the slide tells you, that it is a ratio of current assets to the current liabilities. Okay, so this concept we already studied when we discussed about working capital flow or fund flow statement and the cash flow statement. So why do we uh, make those statements? The purpose is to uh, know the liquidity position of the firm. Okay, but when you use these ratios, that information is again put up in a very useful quantifiable format. Okay, so as we discuss this, we'll come to know the usefulness of this ratio. So this current ratio, on the numerator you see there is a current asset. Okay, so current asset, can you define, can anybody define me what do you mean by current assets? What do you mean by current asset? Can you give me some examples?
Sir, investment that convert into money within year,
Okay, within a period of less than 1 year. So
less than
cash,
1 year.
what do you use? Don't use money, cash. Okay,
Or
so current asset examples.
रॉ मटेरियलचे समजा प्रोडक्ट मध्ये कन्वर्जन वगैरे.
Yes, raw material, that is inventory.
शॉर्ट टर्म इन्व्हेस्टमेंट,
Short-term investments. Okay, marketable
क्रेडिट्स,
securities. Huh?
क्रेडिट्स,
Credit debtors, we can say, the
हां डेट,
people to whom we have given our
हां
material on credit. Okay, and bills, receivables, cash in hand.
हां
Okay, so all these things are nothing but termed as current assets, because what happens in the numerical, you will be given these terms directly. Current asset figure may not be given, you will have to add and find out current assets. And same way, what do you mean by current liabilities? Current liabilities are those liabilities which are, Yes.
which we have to pay within year.
Yes. So
12
what are the
Like
examples?
which you have to pay back. Interest rate
salary,
Yes. What
that
are the
can
examples?
loans.
salary,
Interest on
Salary is there. Loans which are
mm,
becoming due in short term from now. Okay. Then there are creditors from where we have taken credits. Okay. Then there are other operating expenses maybe. Fine. So these are all things coming under current liabilities. Okay. So now one thing you should remember, the current assets may decrease in value, but same thing is not true with the current liabilities. Current liabilities do not increase or decrease their values with the time. Okay. So for example, inventory. If you keep your inventory for a large amount of time, what will happen? There obviously will be some value, no, shelf life, we say. If you keep, say, some stock of your, say, suppose automobiles or two wheelers. Okay, so they try to come up with some scheme at the end of the financial year. Have you seen? Maybe December and all, because they want to
Yes,
clear
sir.
that stock. If they are not able to clear the stock, then obviously they will face even more losses, because that inventory will lose its value as the time progresses. Okay, so it has to be cleared in a time bound manner. Okay, if there is a demand, then don't face any issues with the this kind of situation. But if you are, there is some kind of this corona or other things happen, and the demand suddenly reduces, you will have to be ready for reduction in the value. Okay, the vehicles may not, you cannot sell them at the same value which you would have sold otherwise. Okay, so this is one difference, you please make a note. So current ratio, as we said, it is a measure of firm's short-term solvency. Okay, it indicates the availability of current assets in rupees for every 1 rupee of current liability. Okay. Suppose 1 rupee has to be paid, how much current asset rupees are available to with us? Okay, so it is taken as a margin of safety. Say for example, here, what is the satisfactory ratio mentioned in the slide? 2:1. Okay, so what do you mean by that? That means the current assets, if they are twice the current liabilities, suppose the current liabilities which we need to meet in this current year are, suppose, 5 lakhs, and if we are maintaining current assets of 10 lakhs, okay, so they are double, isn't it? So that is a satisfactory current ratio. Okay, and it is double almost, so that is called as a margin of safety. There is some cushion, so this margin of safety is taken by the creditors as the guarantee against what money they are paying. Means whatever money or capital they are giving them on credit, so it is an additional security, or a say guarantee is given to them if your current ratio is 2:1 or even more than that. Okay, but please remember, uh, even very high current ratios are also not recommended, because that goes to show that your good amount of capital is not properly invested. Okay, so unnecessary liquidity is also to be discouraged. Okay, so 2:1 or a little bit higher ratios are satisfactory ratios. Okay, but in all the liquidity ratios, you please remember another point is that the firm's current ratios or any kind of ratios will tell you uh, about information about quantity, but not about quality. Okay, so what does it mean? The current ratio is a test of quantity, not the quality. The current ratio measures only total rupees worth of current assets and total rupees worth of current liabilities. It does not measure the quality of the asset. So for example, inventories. Whether inventories are fast moving or they are slow moving, or your debtors whom you have generated, or say have been generated through the process of giving your material to them on credit. Okay, so whether those debtors are sincerely paying you or they are slow payers. Okay, so although debtor is your asset, but if it doesn't pay you in time when you expected him to pay, then obviously its quality is not that good. Are you getting? Okay, so current ratio is termed as a crude and quick measure of the firm's liquidity, but it doesn't mean you should not be aware about other things. Okay, so it's just a quantitative figure. Okay, like liabilities are not subject to any fall in the value, as we already told. They have to be paid under any circumstance, but the current assets can decline in value. If the firm's current assets consist of doubtful and slow paying debtors or slow moving and absolute stock of goods, then the firm's ability to pay bills is impaired. Okay, so they won't get the money as soon as they want it, because their debtors are doubtful, they don't pay in time, and the inventories are also slow moving. Okay, so their short-term solvency will be threatened. Okay, but still we can say current ratio can give you immediately some information about the liquidity position of the firm. Is this clear? Current ratios? Any doubts? Are you able to hear me properly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Going ahead, now this is a quick ratio. Now just see the ratio current assets minus inventories upon current liabilities. Now why are we subtracting inventories from here? Because we want even better idea about the liquidity position. Okay, so quick ratio is also called as acid test ratio. It establishes a relationship between quick or liquid assets. Previously we were focused on current assets. Now out of the current total assets, we will have some liquid assets, means which have the capability of getting converted into cash very immediately. Okay, so an asset is liquid if it can be converted into cash immediately or reasonably soon without a loss of value. So loss of value doesn't happen for cash in hand, isn't it? Means mostly if you are not involved in international business where currency values keep changing, but more or less if you are based in a country, its currency doesn't have much of the impact. Value doesn't decrease the way it may decrease with the inventories. Okay, same is the true with marketable securities. Okay, so mostly their values are range bound, they do not drastically change. Then there are debtors and the bills receivables. Okay, so debtors, whatever amount is going to be received, eventually you are going to receive only. There is not going to be any reduction in the value as with the inventory. Okay, inventory example we have already seen. If it's very slow moving, you may have to sell it at a discounted values just to at least cover your basic cost plus some minimal profit. Okay, so that you can keep your capital rotating and you can invest in the future projects. Otherwise, it gets locked up. Okay, so that's why we say out of all the current assets, inventories are an asset which is not coming under liquid type of assets, and they also have a problem of losing the value. Okay, so all the other assets other than inventories divided by the current liabilities, that is called as the quick ratio. Okay, so a ratio of 1:1 represent a satisfactory ratio, means current assets minus inventories, if they are equal to even exactly what the current liabilities are, that is a satisfactory uh, position. Okay, but again a mention is made here is that even if a company does not have a satisfactory quick ratio, it may be better in meeting its liabilities because it is efficiently managing its inventories. Inventories are fast moving, and on the other hand, a company may have a very good quick ratio, but it may suffer from shortage of funds because of low paying, doubtful and slow debtors and long duration outstanding debtors and vice versa. Okay, so the current assets minus inventory items which are there, marketable securities and cash doesn't have an issue, but debtors may create problems if they don't pay in time. Okay, so although they have taken under current assets which are liquid type, but their quality matters here. Okay, so these are just the indicators, but you also need to pay attention to the other things like the quality. Okay, so what was the name of the previous ratio we had seen? What was the ratio which we saw before this?
Current ratio.
Current ratio. Okay, current assets upon current liabilities. So
Current
all types
liabilities.
of current assets. Okay, once we subtract inventories because they are not liquid type of assets, they take some time to get converted into cash, comparatively higher time than the other assets like marketable securities, debtors, and cash in hand. Cash in hand doesn't take any time. So those are kept divided by current liabilities. That gives you quick ratio, which is also called as asset test ratio. Okay. So going further, there is a cash ratio. Okay. So if we are trying to invest our money into some firm, we can try to find out what is the cash ratio. Means are the company into which we are investing are cash rich or not? Okay. So if they are cash rich, that means the debt is uh, also properly manageable and it could be paid. Whatever debt they have taken from the banks, they can pay through this cash reserve very easily. They will never face problems like the other companies which we know they became bankrupt or insolvent because they are not able to pay their loans which they have taken from the banks. Okay, so cash, you understand, it is real cash. Okay, so there are two elements in this: cash plus marketable securities. Okay, so marketable securities may take some more time relatively than the actual cash, but still we say that within some stipulated time, marketable securities can be sold in the stock market and they could be converted into cash. Okay, in some limited time. Okay, so now here we are even subtracting the debtors. Okay, debtors inventories are not considered here, purely the cash and the marketable securities, whatever is the total amount divided by the total current liabilities. Okay, so current liabilities, we are not making any changes in that because they do not reduce in value, neither it's that it could be taken into the next year. Okay, you need to pay them under any circumstance. Okay, so there is nothing to be worried about the lack of cash if the company has reserve borrowing power. So what does this mean? uh, Depending on your past records, okay, the banks already know uh, or they set up certain limits for your company, like what is the credit limit for you. No, you understand, no? Depending on your salary also, suppose you go for a home loan. Okay, so if your salary is higher, you get a higher EMI. If your salary is lesser, you get a lesser EMI. Because that is a uh, say one yardstick they use to find out whether you will be able to repay that EMI every month. Okay, so same way, depending on your operations, the kind of turnover you show, depending on that, every company has some credit limits. So if that credit limit is not exhausted by the company, it can always borrow cash from the financial institutions. Okay, so even if this cash ratio is less, or you are facing less cash, then you can immediately use that remaining cash credit limit and you can generate the cash. Okay, but still we say from the investors point of view, the companies which are not going to the position of using their credit limits to the maximum extent are the preferred investment options. Okay, so which are cash rich, we can say, जिनके पास cash अच्छा खासा है. Okay, then the last one which we are going to see today is interval measure ratio. So the concept of this ratio is we try to find out the number of days uh, we are going to meet our current liabilities. Okay, even without receiving any cash or trying to take any loans uh, to generate cash. Okay, so here current assets minus inventories is the term which is used in the numerator, divided by the operating expenses divided by 360, that is total number of days. So average daily operating expenses is termed is nothing but cost of goods sold. Okay, means whatever goods we are selling, we obviously will require money for inventory and other things. Okay, processing it and all, that is total cost, plus administrative and selling and general expenses minus depreciation, because depreciation is not an outflow, or any other elements which does not affect the cash or they are not related to cash. Okay, so these terms divided by the number of days in a year. Okay, so generally it is 360 we take, and whatever comes out of this will be in terms of days, that is interval measure. Okay, so for example, if it comes out, this ratio value comes out to be 65 days, that means the company is able to meet its current obligations for almost 65 days without having to generate any new cash sources, either by taking loans from the banks or creditors or selling anything. Okay, so it assesses the firm's ability to meet its regular cash expenses. Means on a regular basis, whatever is required till 65 days, it doesn't require much cash which has to be generated otherwise. Okay, so it relates liquidity assets to daily average operating cash outflows. Clear? So when we solve the numerical, that time it will make it more sense, because the figures will come. We'll take an example. So once we finish with all the ratios, then we'll take the numericals. Okay. So
Yes,
just
sir.
revising, we had seen, we had listed the various types of ratios like liquidity ratio, activity ratio, profitability ratio, and leverage ratio. We saw why financial analysis is important, and financial ratios is a very important tool for carrying out financial analysis. And we started with a detailed discussion on liquidity ratios. We have seen 4 types of ratios under that. One is current ratio, then the quick ratio, cash ratio, and the interval measure ratio. Okay, so next time mostly we'll try to cover all the ratios, and we'll take 1 or 2 problems. Okay, so